That's a good meal. Well, let's have a chat about OG and Tundra. I'm obviously going to throw this one to you, Clint, because you've got a lot of, I guess, inside information on how you see the way that these two teams play, which one you think has really stepped up over the DPC, and which of the two are you a little bit worried about in the series?
I mean, I think the sort of like T said, I think the worry is definitely on Tundra that they can recover. I mean, I talked to Neda in the airport. We were on the same flight back to Romania, and I think he was saying that like they feel fine, that there's a bit rough and there's some like hero issues and stuff, but that they felt pretty confident. They just needed to reset a little bit and like refocus. I think they may shift their hero priority slightly, so we may see them going in. I mean, there's something interesting about the two teams is that they have very different hero pools, so like there's not going to be that much crossover, I think. So the bans may be like very, specified at one team or the other. So I mean, we'll see, but I think Tundra definitely needs to clean things up a little bit.
The last time these two teams faced off, it was Tundra winning against OG and a 2-0, but you had to take it with a grain of salt because it was the first day of DPC, Lizard.
Yeah, it was the first day of DPC, and if I remember correctly, OG tried to lean at them, and it didn't work.
Yeah, they also tried the tri-lane. That was something that they were running at the time.
So for me, it's peculiar because Tundra obviously already figured out the meta at the beginning of the season. Like they already knew ways of dealing with the Lina, and some other teams, you could notice, try to copy them here and there unsuccessfully. Everyone was seemingly losing to Alina, just not Tundra.
Yeah.
However, what happened? How did they drop the ball so heavily in the middle of the season?
I mean, I think everyone, in terms of the Lina, I think everyone figured out you just pick the freaking stupid tree walking man, and then the Lina gets a lot stronger. So now there's some tree and fire lady combination going on, which is a little bit harder to deal with.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of like Tundra in the mid season, I think there's just a lot of heroes right now that are very popular. They don't really play. They don't prioritize Furion. They don't play Lina. There's another hero I'm not thinking of. I suppose we play Lash, and they don't really play Lash. But there's like
Tusk as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they play Tusk mid, but I don't know. It's just weird. They are in sort of a funk right now. So maybe like some Rickies and stuff go through, and that helps them a little bit more this series because it's like more their comfort.
Yeah. This was the series that they played on that first day, and it's kind of funny to look back seeing OG's drafts, what they had and what we see in the meta now. I know in the second game of this Tundra OG series as well, Tundra got their hands on Brood, something now that a lot of people are just straight up first phase banning.
Yeah, I feel like, at least for this series, I think it's the only one where we have the 3 tiebreaker teams that happened on week 1. The other matchups, they all happened in week 3. So the meta and the drafts that we see from the later games in this tiebreaker will be with kind of updated meta. And for this entry to the series, like we have to really see the development of OG and Tundra, and I would be surprised if we see the same drafts because, again, like Lina was uncontested, or at least for OG it was a second phase hero, but then they got spected against it. And then since then, they're now picking, as you see here on the drafts, like this is the Lina game from OG. It's a second phase Lina, they pick it blind, allowing a Spectre. Nowadays, it's a first phase hero for them. Obviously, they're covering it with bans, picking on 5 or 8, right? So I think this is a hard series to really look at because they've changed a lot.
Yeah. I mean, the Enigma ban as well, that was something that was always so intriguing for the first little bit of DPC. Now that hero is just pretty much ignored.
Yeah, there's a big boy Doom as well there, by OG banned out in the as the first ban from them, actually.
Yeah.
So not something that we see very often any longer.
You talk about Enigma though, sorry. 33. He's played 9 Enigma games in the last week, and also he's played 7 Alchemist games in the last week. If you're going into a best of 1 against Tundra,
Alchemist Factory once again.
Yep, it's the offlane Alchemist. He goes for the Radiance. He plays carry from the offlane, and he's not done it at all in the DPC. It's something he did last year to surprise a couple of teams. And if you're going up against a best of 1 for a major, you might want to lean on that to help you through it. So OG need to be mindful of this.
Okay, Quinn, if you were to have to go up against a team that you faced off in like the first few days of DPC, and it was a best of 1, how would you adapt, and 2, would you just pull out Cheese?
I mean, Cheese is always interesting because you can try to force it, but oftentimes you have to wait for the cheese. Oftentimes you have to wait for like the cheese to come to you can't run into the trap and try and force it. You'll get your hand caught, so you need to wait, and the cheese will come to you.
Like an Oscar
like an Oscar Costco.
Okay.
So that's one moment of brilliance at the end of the draft, right?
Yeah, they left the trap open, and and then you got it. But I mean, I think in terms of without the cheese, I think Tundra may try and up the priority in some of their heroes. We see Naga banned like literally every single game second phase, so maybe there's a world where Tundra yoinks that hero first phase because both teams prioritize it, and they try and like, if they're looking at like different like later phase heroes for Neta, because his Wraith Pact heroes have been nerfed, so it's harder to first phase these Visages and stuff. Brood's banned every game. maybe they bump up the priority on a Naga so Neta can get a later phase hero.
Yeah, something that Nigma has been doing, right? Like they've been picking GH Naga very early on, so if it's flexible, they can do it.
Outside of draft, I don't know if this comes across as a spicy question, it's not really supposed to, but who do you think has been struggling the most in both teams, Tundra and OG, when it comes to executing or doing well in laning phase?
I think Tundra, at least in the last couple series, has defaulted to skipping waves after they haven't had a successful laning phase, but that is a product of their drafts, not allowing them to get into the laning phase that strong. And I think on OG on the other side, they are just like the weird team that has tenacity that will always try and take that fight, even if they can't win it, they'll give it a go. So I think, yeah, playstyle-wise, it's going to be offense versus defense. Just Tundra's defense hasn't really been working that well, if you want to simplify it as that far.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you compare like this Tundra to prior Tundra, like in the past, their offlane is like absolutely fearsome. Like they just crush their lane every game, and it sort of sets the tempo for this team. And if you look at recently, that just hasn't been as much of the case. The lanes have been like drawing or even losing like quite badly some games. So I think there's a lot of like sort of question marks about this series. You go in and you wonder, is Tundra's laning going to be how it was like the old Tundra, the fearsome monk-ass that is coming with the spiders and the zoo, you know? Or is it like, okay, they're pulling waves, we're chilling, hanging out, you know? So I think there's like, which Tundra is it going to be?
I mean, there's also OG, right, for this exact same question that you guys are going to answer now.
Are they going to try lane?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, has DM really struggled? Do you think that...
At the beginning, maybe. Like, at the beginning of the season, it didn't look that great. Like, DM was sacked quite a lot. It looked like for OG members, you get a new guy and you just kind of isolate him. Yeah, you do you. We're going to play the game
hazing, don't forget.
Yeah,
it was,
exactly.
Welcome to the team.
It was the hazing. Yeah, let's see how well you do if you get no help whatsoever. But I think they adapted really well. I think their lanes are looking much better than before, and I feel that they have adapted also in a way in which they're drafting heroes that have potential to be more active early on. Like we've seen the TA on the safe lane, we've seen them crush some lanes.
I mean, the last 2 times that we saw OG play, they did lose. It went to 3 games, and it was against Nigma Galaxy and Liquid. So one of them sort of makes sense. A lot of people would have expected them to lose to Liquid, but the Nigma Galaxy series, OG losing to, they just weren't really able to bounce back, in my eyes at least.
Yeah, I mean, that is not a series you want to lose to. You look at Nigma being like 0-5 at the time or something, and you drop a series to them in a pretty, you know, like honestly not even that great of a fashion. Like Nigma kind of slapped them a little bit. Yep. And so I mean, you look at both teams sort of like this waffling trajectory toward the ends of the season, you know, sort of like a little bit right at the end, right at the finish line, which is, you know, so you wonder like, is the continuing, you know, are they still stuck in this trip, or have they picked themselves up and, you know, walking, you know, in a normal stride again?
So
another question. Then we heard a lot from OG about how they sort of don't mind not being in that bootcamp environment, and that it's brought out a lot of things for themselves in terms of structure and discipline. In your eyes, do you think Gaming Gladiators would have been able to do as well as you did if you guys didn't bootcamp?
I don't.
Like, how much impact is bootcamping for you?
I mean, I think there's a lot of value in the interpersonal aspects and getting to, like, I don't know, you're around your teammates more. You get to, like, laugh and chill and, like, you know, joke and stuff. And I feel like it's hard to do that online because people are more likely to sign off or, you know, go watch YouTube videos or whatever, right? Whereas you're in person, it's a little weird to, like, your team's talking and you're like, YouTube, you know? So,
you still did that, though, didn't you?
I mean, let's get professional here. Okay, thank you. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty valuable. And I think there's always, you know, you can argue some, like, personal differences and stuff, but I feel generally bootcamping is pretty good.
And do you think that, like, having those personal things, being in person, helped you guys not have that fumbling as much as we might be seeing OG doing now?
I think so. I think there was an aura of, like, we've got this in the room. And I think through internet cables, there's less of an aura, you know? It's not quite the same. I
mean, you're not sharing, like, meals together. Like, in any downtime, you mentioned, like, going off. Like, if you walk outside and you're trying to, like, you know, take away that stress, you just say that one sentence. That sentence could be like the eureka moment of like how to play the next game or how to draft or something, and you don't get that when you're online. So I think bootcamp there's no different, like you can't factor them in. It's like,
and it was pretty chill for you guys as well, right? Like with the bootcamp.
Yeah, we're just hanging out.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, we're just chilling. We'll play some games, you know, losing some games here and there, but you know, you come back and you're in person. It's easier to fix things and manage things, you know, get the ball rolling again, which is the pros of it.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it being shorter as well, only 3 weeks?
Yes. Holy gracious! If it was 6 weeks, I would have lost my mind. I can't believe it was 6 weeks before. That's crazy.
I can't believe your reaction to it, because like obviously you played the 6-week TPC from NA. Like you guys didn't boot camp when you were on.
Yeah, do boot camping. Oh.
So yeah, you're like, okay, I couldn't do 6 weeks of boot camp.
No, we were talking about it after it finished. Like I turned to Ace and I'm like, I can't believe this would be halfway, and he was like, oh, you're right, that's insane.
You played like 3 best of 3s, by the way. You're like, yep, okay, can't wait for my 4th one in week 4 or 5. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to order from the same restaurant again. I'm gonna lose my mind. So.
Was it nice to have that fast-tracked pace as well of trying to find solutions to meta picks and then counteracts to counteracting picks and?
Yeah, I think it makes it feel more like a tournament, which is what you want, right? Like that's what's the most fun in Dota is you're playing tournaments and things are evolving and adapting, and it's like a competition. You know, it's not like I don't know, just something elongated forever thing where you're just stretched out to all the aeons playing these matches once a week. You know.
I mean, Tundra would have had time to learn Lina, right? If it was a 6-week league, by
True.
week 2 or 3, they'd had maybe their 2 early wins. Teams would beat them on week 3. They'd then have all that time. So the shorter weeks, they punish the teams that have prior success.
Well, we'll see if Tundra go for that Lina here in game 1. I say game 1 draft, the only game potentially.
Best of 1!
The best of 1. Best of 1. Tiebreakers, best of 1s. OG Tundra, they're going to have to pull out all stops for this one. And yeah, they do.
Here it is.
Lina straight up for Tundra. But they banned out the tree.
That's true. And there's the Naga rushed up, but on the other side.
But there's what Clock, there's Undying left in the pool, right? For a similar option to that Treant Protector.
There's even something like the 5 Sven that like Aster has played in China some, or is more popular in other regions a little bit. So, I mean, you wonder what they're going to choose here. Tundra is more typically this like CM, this Shadow Demon, this Potom for 5 type of thing, which is not generally what pairs the best with Lina. So, you know, clearly they had something in mind here. They were going to ban the tree, so they're not going to have the tree themselves. So they have some support hero in mind that we're going to pair with this Lina, because this is like a very, you know.
Why ban the tree if you're picking Lina? If you have first phase and you're
I guess you
Lina,
don't want OG to pick it up?
Yeah, but
because they get the back
I feel like it's the best with Lina when paired with her.
It is, but I also think there's maybe even an element of PTSD. Like, Tundra has lost a lot of games with this tree where he's just sitting under the tower and their map is squeezed, and they're like, I would like to move out, but Tree says no because third spell is stupid.
Yeah, I just exist, and you don't even match grasp anymore. It's like 1 point, so it's like 2-point leech all the way into living armor. Yeah, I can see maybe why they ban it out, but Tundra already locking in their pos 1 and 2 straight off the bat.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a little bit surprising to see just both pos 1s. Look, the Naga is maybe question mark. We'll see how much OG's taking out of Enigma Galaxy's handbook, but it's most likely going to be pos 1. And yet we still see the Rubik, the Ricky, the Tusks, the Tinies still in the pool.
They got the cores, and honestly, I'm happy with this because
Really?
the cores that they've been getting lately, for me at least, were just not working out. They were saving these picks for the last 2. And what did they get? They would get like a CK that sometimes had success, but never felt, at least to me, that it was doing too much. A Medusa as well.
Yeah.
But right now, when you look at these 2, Lina perhaps not the perfect comfort zone, but the perfect patch zone.
Yes.
And Pango definitely one of the best heroes on the mid lane for them.
I mean, comfort-wise as well, I think the Pango covers the Lina against the Naga anyways, because when Naga actually songs and wants to get on top, you know, Pango, he can go Maelstrom, Ags, Bash, or whatever. He clears out these illusions, so he's protecting what the counter of Naga to Lina is as well. So those in tandem will force OG to maybe think about, do they want to put the Naga on core? Do they need to flex it away? It's not an immediate, haha, we now have our carry matchup. It's a little bit more thinking now in the draft just because of the Pangolier.
You talked about how there was going to be a priority shift, Quinn, in terms of who's picking up what hero first. Did you think it was going to be this much for Tundra, that they would 1 and 2 straight off the bat?
I did not, but I do think the Pango is a good adaptation. We talked about like Tree, Sven. Like you want more of this melee boy in sort of in the first phase with Lina, so your draft is like structured and you can move forward in sort of like pairs and picking things in more of a segmented way. So if you have this Pango, now suddenly you have the melee boy, you have the Chad who's going to go in for the Lina, who's going to sit back and throw stupid fireballs. So now like you've got like that structured thing, and you can go into second phase and pick your offlaner and your 4. And it's more of like just an individual pair that can function for their lane and what it looks like for their game, and you already have more draft integrity and like structure in your first phase, which is like nice to have.
For OG, this means that one of them has to be a core, right? Because we've seen Sonaga and Snap, they've played the Snap on the mid lane. They played the Snap as a support.
And also offlane as well.
Yeah,
and
DMs played
offlane.
it.
So do you guys think that this is... Like, what are your feelings? Is Naga position 1 here, or do you just wait until the end, see how the game is, see the drafts out, and then decide where she's going?
I think it's probably going to end up being Naga carry. Yuragi is kind of addicted to that hero. If you ever see his like pub page, there's always Naga in the #1 slot.
Yep.
Well, then how do you feel about a Snap Hood lane?
It's probably going to be
Oh,
Hood
Shaker
5 in this scenario.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that probably ends in the most likely. It's also possible they lane things that way. I don't know how this lane go. It could also be Shaker 5, so there's still some question marks in terms of like where the supports are. Okay, wow, I was straight up wrong. It's Ursa carry.
They just get the Ursa into the Doom, right? Yep. You reposition the Naga on 4, put Snap on offlane.
Yep, and then now Hood 5 with your Ursa. Yeah, they have a way to enable the Snap in side lane, because the lane will always be in front of Snap's tower. You have Hoodwink Ursa, which is an aggressive lane. Earthshaker, sure, you can keep the lane near your tower, but there will be opportunities to get kills from OG, and in all lanes, honestly. So yeah, Tundra, once again, it feels like they're, other than the Pangolier, everything else is just hit creeps, push lanes, get some items, then play Dota. While OG, it's like you get a mech on the Snap, one item on your heroes, you want to look for a little bit more of a scuffle.
I mean, I do think there is something interesting about this Doom Ursa matchup. Conventionally, you'd think Ursa pretty good against Doom. You slap him, you know, you press R, and he doesn't want to press R. But I think this is the type of matchup Tundra is very comfortable in lane. They're going to pick a ranged support last to go with his Doom most likely, and that's the lane that like Neta has played a million times. He's going to nerd out on the item builds. They know like when to pull the waves. It's more of a lane they're actually going to play as opposed to just like chain pulling waves and sacking the lane. So if I look at this, even while conventionally you may say Ursa is good against Doom, I think this is an environment that Tundra is very comfortable with. This is much more of a them draft with this likely ranged 4 coming last than I think you'd see in some of the more recent games.
But look at the ban.
Yeah, they're respecting this position for Doom, potentially.
Oh, interesting.
And it's like, I think, what you're mentioning a ranged hero, Tundra can easily go for, let's say, like a Dark Willer on 4. They could still go for like the Visage off lane, but just something to equally apply pressure behind it. And I think if you're OG, just block some camps. Don't give them that Harpy creep. Don't allow this Doom to buy mana boots and actually just spam the lane out. Don't win a lane on RNG. So
I know you guys are looking at the lanes themselves, and sure, Neta can outplay. He knows the matchup. My problem is OG's draft just looks way more active afterwards. They don't need a ton, and they will be fighting you. Meanwhile, you have a Shaker waiting for a dagger. You have a Doom farming up, right? Whatever he goes for, BKB, Blink, maybe even a Midas that we've seen recently. Hopefully not, but
I think it's mainly
that mid game is a problem.
Kind of. I think Pangolier offsets all of that because
Just one Pango?
Yeah, because OG, it's like Ursa needs to buy Battle Fury +1. Naga is a support, so you just buy mech, you don't do damage. So all your damage right now is Hoodwink, Snap, plus some active mid laner. So I think Pango can honestly outplay 2-3 heroes by himself, just with a good swash, Rolling Thunder, playing in the right areas, which allows the time to come online. So I think BZM has a little bit of work to do to get that momentum going for OG if they want to play that way.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how things shape up in the last, phase of heroes. I think Tundra's a team who likes to play on their side and more of a, like, we protect our woods. We have some structure to, like, the way we're playing the map. We don't, like, overplay things too much. We're not going too psycho mode. Like, we have a lot of people who want to farm. And so if you look at OG's heroes, they're not the easiest heroes to just run and run in and invade. They have a lot of like, we need to land a bushwhack or we need to like cookie a guy in some weird way. And Pango functions very well in these like open spaces where you walk into him and he sees you and he gets to play from range with the guns and stuff. And
so is there something from mid lane that they can pick to alleviate that, like a puck or something similar?
Yeah, I think that's definitely the type of thing OG's looking at. Something that, can shut this down. Pango down some and help them, get into the space where they can invade the woods more and run at this Lina because we all know what Lina does. She's going to hit the woods really fast and get a bazillion gold.
Is this like, okay, pick your puck, we have a hex
now?
Okay. Pick your spirits.
I mean, it's
possible there's
some
preventative measure there.
Yeah. We've seen it against these Nagas as well. But again, it's support, so it's not really for that value. But for Ursa, when you're hit by surprise, you're not so tanky anymore. So I can see the line. It's mainly a hero that works because of how AFK Tundra wants to be with their heroes. If they're trying to be an ounce of aggressiveness, Lion's terrible. But because they're not really trying to do anything, Pango's going to push waves and they're going to wait to play this game. Lion will kind of feel good. And it's very
pretty good versus Naga as well, right? Like versus the illusions.
Yeah, sure. But in lane as well, like this Lion, it's super good against Ursa because you have Earthspike, you have Hex. You can never really get the right clicks onto this Doom. So it's a lane securer for sure.
Do we still feel that it's definitely going to be a mid laner for OG, that's the only real last pick hero that's going to bring a lot of their lineup together?
Yeah, Snap mid in this configuration is a bit wonky. Oh, it's the Coddle mid. He was practicing this in pubs. Interesting. Sumail is
playing it a lot too.
Created a new meta.
Yeah. All right, well, both drafts finished then. Do you think Tundra are going to be able to delay the game, wait long enough to be able to come to their Lina?
I'm not sure. You're picking Coddle into a team that has 9 on it. It's gonna be rough.
The inventor.
The inventor.
That's true. You're trying to beat the master. I'm gonna go with my boys on Tundra and say they've revised their issues. They've come together. They've collected themselves. They're ready to clap some cheeks.
Yep. Okay. All right. You guys all with Tundra as well then?
No, I'm with OG.
Oh.
Yeah. I feel that they've already defeated the Lina. I feel that they have what it takes in that mid game to to clap. Like,
What a soft clap. You're not really believing
Yeah,
it.
they
come
told
on.
us they told us don't clap hard. It's just the way it is. Far away.
Good.
There you go.
That was good. I don't know if anyone heard it on stream, but that was good. That was a good
I
clap.
felt good. No, I think Tundra's got enough defensive heroes to actually secure their lanes to not get run over. And yeah, they'll be able to protect this Lina. So I'm leaning Tundra.
All right, well, this is our first matchup in these BO1's three-way tiebreakers. OG Tundra. We're going to head on over to B Cup and Lacoste.
Thank you very much. It's time to start off the tiebreakers, and I guess the question is, well, who's going to clap them and who's going to hear the claps? And Lacoste, what are you thinking so far? A little bit different drafts from both these teams. Not something we've seen too much in the early goings of the season.
Yeah, OG, last pick, Keeper of the Light, what panel talked about. There was a slightly meta starting to change, you know, Keeper of the Light. I thought this was a dead hero until I saw Sumail play it, and looked really good. Like, in terms of itemization, you can go for, like, whatever team needs, whether that's, like, a 4-staff for yourself. We've seen some Aghanim Scepter early on being picked up. On the side of Tundra, they do have comfortable heroes. The new hero, actually, we have Position 5 Shaker, not the usual one, and there was some, like, heavy thinking coming into this one, you know, some counter picking. You pick Naga Siren, we pick Shaker, then they shift Naga to position 4. So I'm looking forward to this like Doom Lion lane, also a new hero, Lion, not the one that I expected, but they needed this range 4 to be paired up with Doom, something to stabilize the lane a bit, something that can't really just kill Ursa. And 33 on his Doom. Like, Doom has abysmal win rate. It started off in China, because China was the first region to start off with. At one point, Doom was sitting at 1-6. Later on, it started to get slightly better overall, but still not looking good. I'm going to check real quick. So he's sitting at... Oof, doesn't look too good. 35% win rate on Doom in all regions.
Yeah, I think it was that win we saw the other day, which was bumping that number up. I don't know if it ended up getting taken down, because I feel like I remember it being 38%, and then it must have gone down. But we did see a win on it recently. We'll see
if it was 38 and now it's 35, it went down. Yeah, you're really good at math, B-Cup.
I appreciate that, but it was 38 before the win, so I'm just saying there's losses that may have happened that we didn't exactly see throughout all the regions, and now we're going to see if 33 can work with this Doom. It's, as the numbers represent, very hit or miss. So
mostly miss.
Yeah.
Snaking taking a lot of damage here. We see some like different heroes. This is also something that teams started to play out more. Snapfire on the offlane, Snapfire as a core. We've seen even some mid Snapfires lately. Paired up with Naga Siren, I don't think I've seen this lane like ever. We've seen some like Snapfires a year ago. It was super popular in South America, but never picked up with Naga Siren. So you have, I'd say, like Naga 4 looks really good in terms of what she brings to a team fight. We've seen GH play it, where you go for mech, you get the shard. He was also the one like farming the jungle, especially if you're playing from ahead. That means that you can farm the... Oh, he's gonna get the courier.
Taking out those tangos too. Just to continue on your point about the Naga Siren, you know, if you are getting the mech, if you are going to the shard, you're trying to be that sustainer. You know, this is DM on the Snapfire. We've been seeing him play heroes like Death Prophet, Timber, and they've been going for Guardian Greaves, but now you're on a Snapfire, you're probably getting mech on the Naga. What's the build here for Snapfire?
I don't mind something like a 4-staff. We'll have to see, because like I don't think you can build something super cool on this position for Naga Siren, and we can see Taiga again manipulating the creep wave, dragging it. I think at one point this has to stop, and just don't be able to pull the creeps. We'll see. The next Dota patch probably going to be gigantic in terms of the changes, the gold to XP mechanic, the comeback as well. Looking forward to it, because making this new lane has been kind of a weird one, I would say, where you can just keep dragging it. You don't want to play the... Well, you got out drafted, but you know what? We'll make a lane for ourselves.
We've seen polls as far as taking the top lane creeps and bringing them all the way to the tier 2 mid, just to deny a creep wave from the mid laner, or from your opponent's mid laner. So it's interesting to see how these creeps have been manipulated, and maybe it's counting the last days on how much this is going to happen. But it's certainly cool to see some of the polls that have been pulled off throughout the year. Taking a look over towards bottom, this is a matchup we're yet to talk about. And 33 on this Doom. He's got one of the Devour, one of the Scorched Earth, and right now working with that Chain Lightning. We've talked about that creep. That does a lot of damage when you picked up that Chain Lightning. It could be very annoying.
This matchup, Keeper of the Light against Pangolier, you need to bring some extra region because you don't have a bottle, and we can see BZM bringing in those extra tangos, which does allow Pango to pick up the Water Rune and also play a bit more aggressive. He does have a full combo, but BZM, let's see, if he tries to burst him, he knows that he doesn't have enough. Maybe take him by surprise.
And BZM doesn't end up dying there, and it's because that Illuminate kind of just puts him in prime position to get hit, right? You have to stand still, and that means Swashbuckle's coming your way. BZM, he's got 14 CS, so he's keeping up right now with the Pangolier. Things have been equal so far. Actually seeing the Lina only 13 and 8, but it feels like to shut down this hero, you have to turn off their computer.
Well, refill his bottle. Taiga slightly late in the action. And 33 running down Nisha with that Chain Lightning will bring him down. 2 points in Scorched Earth, more than enough. Nisha needs to be careful with his positioning. I think I just said Nisha. There's way too many players with the similar names, especially in China.
All the 3-letter names definitely are hard to figure out. As DM, he's got a 2-letter name, and well, he may be hitting a 2-syllable word, Graveyard. So we'll see. He gets out with Cookie. And Snake King and Skitter just under this tier 1 tower with nothing really stopping them. It feels like they can do whatever they want in this lane so far.
But they're playing very aggressive. Look at the damage done on the tower. 600 HP gone on that tower.
This is starting to feel a bit free for the Lina, which is always a scary thought when you're up against it. I'll say lands on the Taiga, and Skitter not working with a lot of mana, but he does have that early Falcon Blade. So he's getting some extra mana regen, damage, and health with that. That's always nice early on.
Oh, look at the CS. 33, 27. Creeps does have that mana boots, does have that Chain Lightning. Panel did mention it. It's going to be a lot of pressure on Ursa, who does have a Ring of Health available. Misha sitting at 2 tangos at the moment, but the pressure is going to be too much. Also, every single time he gets close, he'll get Earth Spike, and Saksa will get a solo one.
Yeah, this is just not being able to find a comfortable position for the Hoodwink and getting hit with the Earth Spike and the Chain Lightning. It was a good job by Saksa, too. He was kind of feinting the Earth Spike a lot. And once you've got Doom coming over, you know you've got that extra damage, so easy kill there. And everything rolling. All the gears are turning for the side of Tundra.
Speaking of rolling, 9 will hit level 6 pretty soon, and he knows exactly where BZM is farming. He pretty much invented this Keeper of the Light on mid lane, and this is what we talked about. The damage output from these 2 heroes, this Scorched Earth, Chain Lightning plus Earth Spike should be enough. Radiant using the scan. BZM afraid of Pango. He saw him invading his jungle.
And they got that scan to hit, and bottom lane losing Yuragi. It's already a 2K lead here for Tundra, and it's, well, not even just due to the fact that there's a Lina in the game. You've got Doom farming really well, and every lane seems to be successful for them so far on Tundra.
This rotation got scouted. Let's see. Oh, they dragged the creep wave. Nicely done by Saksa. So now 9 can finish off the big creeps.
Misha's here with a Bushwhack, but where is your follow-up damage for this? Yuragi's only level 4. Like, he is struggling down here bottom.
Doom is levels. Like, 33 is trying to get a dive. If he gets the Doom off, Yuragi definitely dead.
Yeah,
Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning again. Saksa is there.
There's no way he's getting out of this one, and he'll eventually succumb to the Doom and the right clicks of Saksa, so well, what do you do if you're OG? This is early on.
This is a very slow lineup from them. You have this Hoodwink who's under-leveled. Misha does get an Observer Ward killed near the big camp that they were stacking. So it needs to be like Keeper of the Light. When he picks up Boots of Travel, he needs to be active on the map. Your Naga Siren doesn't really provide you with much because it's a support Naga. Like, your damage output is very limited. DM also under-leveled. Level 4, 7 minutes into the game.
Yeah, not something you would expect from DM, just because of the way we've been seeing him play. He's been really rolling with those heroes that are quite tanky early on and can take those objectives early in the game. Yeah. So it's a different game for him this time, and we got to see how he's going to adapt to this situation, because right now it's looking rough, and I don't really see how he excels in this lane up top.
Also, you have a carry who doesn't want to join a fight. He wants to build a Battle Fury. So this lineup from OG is going to take time. Like, someone needs to buy some extra time. BZM does have Boots of Travel available, going into Urn next, some extra damage coming out from him, but he needs to be where the action happens. It's pretty similar to what Batrider does with the Bots Rush as his first item, so he tends to be more active, but the BZM, he got scouted by that ward, so they know he's coming.
Yeah, already backing off, and you could see that Alina, Earthshaker don't even want to show, and at that point, Coddle's already aware that they must have something to see him, and he backs off towards mid again.
33, 4.5k net worth. 8 minutes into the game, almost has a Midas on top of all these small items. He's probably the most annoying player you can play against.
They got the ensnare, they'll have the follow-up cookie. BZM now here, and they'll get themselves onto the board by taking out Snake King. So they step up just a little bit too far, trying to get a kill there on a DM.
Yeah, to go back to my point, like 33, he builds all these small items. He's pretty much 6-slotted. All his inventory is full, buying these small items, Raindrop, Magic Wand, Casual Windlace. Like, he knows the matchups in and out, and it's very difficult to lane against him. Look at the damage on a mid tower, also done by Pango. Just by having that Blightstone, he does put some extra pressure, because he's been dragging the creep wave into the river, so the creeps actually go for the tower.
And he's up here now up against Yuragi, who's just trying to do anything to get himself to level 6 and into fighting shape. It's going to be a while, though. He's going for Battle Fury, and this is going to be a slow one. His lane already not where he's supposed to be, and the aggression coming out from Tundra just make it so difficult for him to feel comfortable around the map so far.
Both carries kind of struggling. Also, Skitter sitting at 3.2k net worth at the moment.
And once he gets that Maelstrom, though, we'll see him off to the races. It feels like it's inevitable with Lina every game we see this hero in.
OG did scan top, so they know someone is there. Snaking, 2 points in Fissure. Let's see how much time he can buy. It's not like the best hero to do this with. It's not Wyvern, neither it's a Treant Protector, so if you get caught, you might die. But yeah, the damage, we talked about it, is pretty limited. This Naga Siren doesn't really provide you with much. Taiga forced to TP out.
TPing back to the tier 1 tower, 9 coming over. Have this ward down, they spotted him for a moment. Not able to accomplish anything just yet, but now they've got the ensnare, they'll have the Mortimer's Kisses, 9, taking a lot of damage with the Illuminate. Fissure comes through, Rolling Thunder, turning this around, going into the mirror image, going on the other side of the Fissure, so Taiga now running away from 3 of these heroes as Blinding Light, Laguna Blade, and they've got the cookie down to the low ground. He'll survive with 18 health.
Yeah, that Fissure can be really beneficial, but it can also kind of grief your Pangolier. You can bounce off of it, but Swashbuckle, slightly off the mark, 9. I don't blame him. He was afraid that he's going to die, trade his life potentially for position 4, which is not what you want to do. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, 33 did manage to kill the tower, going into BKB next, has a complete free farm in this game. There's going to be a huge timing once Pango picks up his Diffusal Blade and BKB on Doom. This is a go time pretty much, while Lina's going to be jungling, rest of the team can play together.
Yeah, so they have a lot of kill potential with the lineup minus Lina, and then once that Lina gets involved, after picking up the Maelstrom, potentially Boots of Travel after that. We've seen Boots of Travel, we've seen maybe a little variance to that build, but
yeah, it's definitely, like, we've seen Lina's not even upgrading bots until they get 6-slotted. It's very situational, I would say. A lot of players do autopilot. We're like, yeah, I need to have these bots, but sometimes investing 2,000 gold into, like, just Road of Atos in situations where you're playing against not enough, like your team doesn't have enough lockdown, so you want to provide some. It does provide you with the tankiness as well. So we'll see what Skitter decides to go in this one. I'm a big fan of Gleipnir, though. Just set up for your LSA, set up for other stuns. Smoke from Tundra, 5k gold lead, 11 minutes into the game. They're really on a roll.
And they're about to be looking for a roll as they've got 9 and Snake King going towards the enemy jungle. Not finding anything, though, if Yuragi backs off before these creeps are taken, but that could be a little bit of a problem. Meanwhile, over mid, there's Spike from a distance. They have the ensnare, the land, the cookie. Skitter in trouble, and this Lina is going to fall.
Oh!
Laguna Blade in the finger, but still surviving.
This is like Harry Potter, pretty much. Voldemort against Harry, fighting against each other, but they used both spells on 5 Hoodwink, and the Hoodwink didn't die. But they did manage to bring down Ursa. We see the power of this Disposal Blade on 9.
And 9 comes over, Earth Spike, landing on a Misha. So he's been taking the brunt of the aggression from Tundra, but still not dead. Snake King, he is level 6, but he doesn't have a mana for Echo Slam, even if he walks in there. And they're going to smoke again, right after they fought. Even though they used Finger and Laguna Blade, they smoke up, and, well, they're going to find themselves Taiga and get a kill.
That was a quick one. Pango also having Glance of Pursuit. There's so many good Pango items, the neutral ones. It's just like, we'll see what he gets at 17-minute mark.
Fingers crossed for Brigand's Blade if you're
the best
Bangalore.
one. Like, also Lance of Pursuit, extra slow on top of his slow, extra damage as well. It gives you, like, budget Ricky item. I love Lance of Pursuit.
Yeah, and he's going to be holding on that. It's also an extra 200 mana, which is quite nice. We're spamming out those swashbuckles. He's also got Shard queued up. He's got the gold for it, but it's just not time yet. He's too quick.
He's way too farmed.
that's one of the signals are definitely of being too farmed is having enough gold for your Shard too early.
33 finishing off his BKB. He's been the king of this game so far.
We also will have Mythor Hammer to finish off the Maelstrom for Skitter flying out. The heroes over towards bottom for the side of OG, but the question is, do they want to go for anybody just yet? Earn Boots of Travel, and now an Orchid looking at it from BZM. Meanwhile, Bushwhack, Sharpshooter, not even needed to get the kill to Saksa. Yuragi gets credit for that kill. He also spots Snake King. Fissure lands on a BZM. I go over to the side. Swashbuckle off the mark again. Drop down the Seeds of Serenity, but will walk away from them. So plants a seed and
yeah, you can see the
leaves.
That the OG is lacking some damage if they don't have, like, Carlo doesn't really have a hero to play with, so that's one of the issues. Taiga is trying, he's there, 3 points in ensnare to be sure those Illuminates hit, but it's just not enough.
Battle Fury also finished off your Yuragi, so he's going to be working on these ancient stacks.
It's
not the worst
naked,
timing.
It's a naked Battle Fury. It's just brown boots, no upgrades, no treads, no phase boots.
Yeah, maybe feeling the need because of the lane breaking up very quickly, and I thought it was maybe even going to be even more delayed than that, but Brown Boots, Battle Fury, I think is the sacrifice you need to make, right?
It's the right choice here, because the lanes didn't go too well. Let's see, Saksa, he's in a spot to potentially break the smoke. They are planting down some vision here. First usage of the finger, that has to feel bad, man. Like, you don't care too much about Laguna Blade, but you want to get those charges up on Lion.
Yeah, try to get those stacks up, extra
They just
40.
scanned, but they caught only Naga Siren Illusion with that scan, so this could give them false information.
Yeah, they're heading down a little bit, but they're also wrapping around mid.
Tower's very low, 100
is
HP.
Right
Let's
there.
see this finger.
Saksa actually even going further back. Taiga will back away with an illusion. Not sure if they can find the real one, but they've got the Earth Spike that lands onto Taiga. They've got 33 coming in. There's the finger to get the kill onto the Naga Siren. The break, the Sharpshooter, it landed onto the Lion, and 9 turning it around with the Rolling Thunder to back towards his team.
OG, they have a lot of sustain, a lot of heals. Greaves is finished on DM. Another Fissure is available, so 33 should be okay. Does have that BKB as well. So we'll be able to fall back. Oh, Misha.
Hex. He's caught Fissure and the Earth Spike, so they have the sustained lockdown, but they just don't have the confidence to go up out of the high ground and look for that damage. It looked like they were about to doom Yuragi. The hands went up on 33.
Fissure already used. It's a good thing for Tundra that this Doom didn't go off. Ooh, Skeeter on bottom.
Taiga, he's got Song. We'll start with the Ensnare. Laguna Blade now using that mirror image, but just dying to Skitter. No Song, no nothing, and BZM, he's on the run.
Call the ambulance, but not for me moment.
Yeah, and now DM, he's also trying to get his team out as he'll use that cookie to get Yuragi closer to the steps, but hit by that Fissure. No follow-up coming in from Tundra, though.
Yeah, we see time and time again. Lack of damage on OG. They're still not ready to take a fight. I did talk about their sustain. It's a good one if they manage to get the Song, cancel this Doom, potentially, Guardian Greaves, and also the heals from Illuminate. A lot of sustain, but in terms of damage, and it's also their lineup is not that easy to execute. If you miss your spells with Keeper of the Light, if you miss the Bushwhack and the Sharpshooter, if the kisses don't land, it's like you are gonna struggle even more in the mid game. Cookie lands now.
Ooh, Blink in, Infernal Blade. Now they get the kill on Amisha. They'll take out the Hoodwink immediately. BZM already a little bit low. He's hit with the Doom. Echo Slam committed onto the Snapfire. Soxa's dead in Amisha. They're trying to hit the Rolling Thunder to get this kill. Walking back towards Yuragi. Finally slams it down and takes out BZM. Through here is dead on the side of OG.
9 did pick up a Blink Dagger in the end. We see OG trying to make something happen while Yuragi, like, he wants to farm up. He's still not ready to take a fight. He wants to be able to have that BKB for the next one, and the usage of the Doom after a while. 33 is just way too big at the moment. 12,000 net worth.
We've seen this hero be pushed into famine quite a bit, and well, now 33 on the Doom is feasting. So it's 12,300 net worth. A Doom that is just out of control, and I mean, he's not your only problem. You look at the net worth, and everybody is beating these OG counterparts.
And the only one who's down is Snaking, but he's getting there. Fisher's maxed out. It's all about the setup. It's all about, like, Ursa jumps in. He's going to use that Fisher to stop him. If they, like, it's a long-range spell that can stop the Mortimer's Kisses as well, especially if you have Vision. So, very difficult game. Next fight, Tundra takes. They're going to turn this into Roche. It's also stealing potentially Roche from Ursa lineup, which is pretty huge. So maybe OG needs to risk it, try to make a maneuver where the rest of the team smokes while Ursa takes the Roche, but might be too afraid considering that there's still a tier 1 tower in this mid lane. They don't have their own. And also Vision on the high ground, scouting things out.
Yeah, so will they have the opportunity to go for this Roshan? I can see them doing it once Yuragi has the BKB, but before that, that is just very risky. Right now, we are yet to see a Song set up for anything. BZM, he's got this Orchid, which... how are you feeling about this build?
It's a good build when you are ahead, when you are the one, like, controlling the game, where you're, like, completely dominating, moving from lane to lane, getting the kills. You're not allowing the enemy mid laner or the safe laner to get their BKB up, so you punish them because you have a better timing of that Orchid. I don't think they're going to get the value from Orchid in this one. Sure, Pango might struggle until he finds a Dispel for himself, and 9 is super farm. Already has that Mana Boots, which is natural build for Pango, going into Lotus Orb next, so this is going to be a huge issue. You will have Dispel on yourself and also Dispel on others. Lina will have a BKB in no time. Doom already has one, so pretty difficult. I think the value, because you don't put in right-click as this hero.
So maybe that Orchid already obsolete, and that could turn into a big issue as Soxa, Blink not finding BZM, and now he's on the run, Swashbuckle and Snare. 9 rolling up. They'll take away the illusion with the manager.
And would you look at that? He found the Brigand's Blade on Pango. They also found Grobo on Lina. We need new neutral items to be added to the game. Recycle. Remove some of the good ones and add new ones.
Royal Jelly. I'm still an advocate for it. I would like to see some Royal Jelly.
Royal Jelly, people were griefing with that item way too much. Like, if you find it, by default, you're getting it, because no one can steal it away from you. So, you had these position 5s always have Royal Jelly.
I like it, though. I would usually do the same. One to yourself, one to the carry. I think that's fair. 11,000 net worth lead here for Tundra, as 33 and Skitter are sitting together, and like you said, that BKB is going to be coming out soon, and it is here. So Skitter's got his BKB. It coincides with the BKB timing of Yuragi.
33 disassembled his Mana Boots, bought the full length Boots of Travel, sitting on 500 gold, going into Octarine next, level 15.
Can they find anything? Maybe DM, but the scan landing. Good scan from the Radiant, maybe thinking that they're going after Roche, which
Skitter's like, whatever, I'll just do Roche by myself. If they don't want to fight, let's take the fight inside the Roche pit. Yuragi does have a BKB. But let's see how they approach it. If they pop BKBs, because they will be afraid of Siren, never mind. Taiga's showing on the bottom lane. So
they're not going for this.
It's not going to get contested.
Yeah. Which is a big point that you were bringing up. Taking away that first Roche from the Ursa. That is not just an 11k lead anymore, it feels like. That's one of the daggers.
Like, Ursa does rely on having Aegis most of the time. Mostly it's about second one. He definitely prefers the second because of the shard and the Aegis. This is where he becomes super strong, but we still haven't seen Ursa in action. Like, he's not gonna say keeping up, but considering how the game is going, he's doing okay on Ursa in terms of farm.
I feel like the limited map is something that's definitely put into the equation there for this Ursa, and he's done a good job of working with that limited map. But now they need to work at holding this game to get to the second Roche, right?
Yeah, and we just seen Skeeter cutting the creep wave, does have boots. They have 2 bots, so they can be anywhere on the map. Fisher stun, DM will drop with the Laguna.
They've got the Bushwhack, but there's the Earth Spike still charging up the Sharpshooter. BKB, so it's not going to matter. There's the finger and a kill there on Amisha. Double kill for Skeeter.
Skeeter wants to play another BO1 right after. Like, he's like, we need to win this one really quick. Because he's not messing around. He did pop a BKB with Aegis just to be able to get that kill.
Yeah, making sure that we can continue to control this game, and they have really not let go of the chokehold they have over OG at all in this one. All the lanes going well, the mid game going perfectly. Tundra just melding OG to their will, and well, it has not been fun if you're on the Radiant side. Yuragi comes in, immediately the Echo Slam. Bushwhack lands, but they've got the Swashbuckle, a couple of right clicks with another Sharpshooter. Misha gets the kill on a Snake King. So the Echo Slam doesn't go well. OG capitalized with 1 kill, but that's not enough. They need more of that.
Can they take a fight? Like, my issue with their lineup is while having this Naga Siren as a 4, you don't have a combo. Like, we've seen some beautiful combos that you can execute with the Black Hole, with the Static Storm, once you get to the Aghanim Scepter on Disruptor. This time around, there's not going to be anything at any point of the game. It's mostly going to be used as an escape tool. 33
They're in on
an opening.
BZM, yep. 33 just blinking onto this Coddle, and there's no chance. This is just all Tundra at the moment. Let's see, Yuragi, he has about 1,000 gold saved up, has that Blink Dagger with the Battle Fury BKB, but he has not really been a part of the action. There hasn't been much action from the OG side, and I say that, immediately socks it with the Blink Hex. They'll have the Earth Spike to follow it up. That's an LSA. They're continuing the control with the Rolling Thunder, and Yuragi tries to get aggressive and immediately pays for it by dying.
Good roll from 9.
Yeah, been perfect on Taiga. Swashbuckle, one more right click.
Gone.
Ooh, shoot
Reeves.
crash. Surviving for a moment, 9. As the Lotus Orb avoids and sidesteps not only the Cookie, but the Sharpshooter too.
9 dodges everything.
Doom used on BZM, and he's just going to get run down here by 33. There's no way out. Bushwhack, but where's your follow-up damage from Misha?
They don't have damage. Without Yuragi, there's not enough. And 33 getting that solo kill, gets 550 gold, about to crack level 20. So Doom cooldown, minus 35 seconds with the Octarine core. It just keeps getting ridiculous. So having that bots as well, so lowering the cooldown on his Boots of Travel with Lena's Boots of Travel. Like, they can be anywhere on the map. And look at them go.
They've just not stopped. Pick off, pick off, pick off, and that comes from what you talked about, being able to move around the map so well with these double Boots of Travel. I don't see an answer for OG at the moment.
Map is just extremely small for OG. If they show, they've been under a lot of vision. This is one of those sneaky snaking wards that is called Sentry, but is actually providing vision near the top lane.
This top one, ward was placed while they were making that smoke attempt, which ended up turning into Roche. So it's been there the entire time. Nobody's even aware of this kind of vision.
Ooh, 33 went the wrong way. Let's see if Snaking goes for a blind Fisher to potentially stop it. Getting juked.
Another ward spotting Taiga. Saksa, he's got Blink, so...
Can they time the Aegis? This is what they've been looking for. But again, underneath the Observer Ward, Sentry
Doesn't
is,
even...
Yeah, it's out of reach.
Now they see the Sentry, but that forces in the Blink as well as the Earth Spike. They're looking to get the kill there onto Taiga. They get the kill on Soxa. They'll hit the Sharpshooter. Mortimer's Kiss is going down into the lead up with the Rolling Thunder onto the backlines with 33 coming over the BKB pop by Yuragi. They get the kill to BZM. They'll start the song, but will anybody listen? They're going to continue to go forward. The Fissure hitting from Snake King onto DM. These heroes on the side of Tundra will start to retreat. So a lot used there by OG, and all they get out of it is just a Lion.
So far, OG has managed to kill Lina once in the laning stage. All the other kills have been on the support. So even in terms of getting the gold, they're not getting much for killing those supports. 21k gold lead. Tundra smokes again. They are looking for another opening. They know that Ursa doesn't have a BKB, so if they can catch him, it should be a kill.
Yuragi, Misha, and now the Blink, 33 coming in. Just Boomerang, Sharpshooter, some damage onto 9, but Skitter's here. Yuragi trying to TP out and just be successful. As the dire side all coming over. LSA doesn't land on Misha either. Bushwhack locking down 33.
No
They've got
scurry.
the snare on Skitter, but no scurry means no life. And Misha will fall. Cookie hits onto Skitter, but
That's
they've got the
very
follow-up Earth
aggressive.
Spike. There's nobody here. They've got the finger. They have the Laguna. They'll have the damage to get this kill onto DM and blinking onto the backline. So they're looking for BZM. Boots of travel right onto this Pangolier. That means BZM falls to Skitter. Triple kill for this Lina, and it could be an Ultra. Taiga spotted. Skitter's got the damage, but Nine's got the kill. And it is just all Tundra the entire time.
This might be it. Like, it's a best of one. It's a tiebreaker game, so they're not gonna call it. But in terms of them coming back into this game, the chances are almost non-existent. You see 33 bots level 2 on Doom 28 minutes into the game. This has to be one of the fastest bots too, besides the one we've seen. Who was it? It was Felix, I believe, that bought it like 15 minutes into the game as position 4 Keeper of the Light.
Yeah.
The game was going so well.
Well, that was a game where he could have bought anything and they would have won. I mean, Dota Plus.
All right, what about after this kill? 'Cause
Yeah, all right, now update.
refresh, yeah.
100%.
We've seen some comebacks from 100%. I don't think this is gonna be. There we go.
There it is.
Shaker making
You know,
the game
1%
even.
chance.
Yeah.
You know, that's just Dota Plus admitting that they were wrong. Because if you put 100%, it should never be able to move again. Technically, you'd think that OG can never win this game.
I don't see that big item that's gonna make like a huge change. Ursa's going for a Basher. Naga Siren, she doesn't have anything. Look at Skeeter, bottom.
Not even a life. That is just really disgusting how they're able to pull this off. Especially with those bots, too. That is Tundra just moving around the map very fluidly. There's no pushback from OG at all. Is it back to 100%? I feel like each kill is just gonna... Okay, so still holding out some hope there for Dota Plus.
Making things more interesting. 9 will pick up double damage. Next Roche will respawn in a minute.
Oh boy. They're cutting him off the panel. He raised the arms. He was looking for it.
I think at one point he will get Arcane Blink just because of this. This is the second time that he raised his arm and nothing happened. Ooh, they also killed his career. He was trying to get the Hex. BZM now farming up. Not close to it though.
Yeah, not too terrible just considering the fact that he didn't have the other items for it, but now they're moving in, they got the finger. Yuragi trying to survive. This song is not keeping him alive, but he'll go to the BKB. He's going to try and go for Soxin. Now can he get his claws on anything else? No, it's him using that cookie to try and TP away, but 33's in with the Doom. They've got the mute. It's on to the Ursa.
He had enough.
They get the kill on the Tiger. They'll get Misha as well as Yuragi. Triple kill here for Skitter. And OG just falling down by the wayside, and well, they're looking like they're going to lose another. DM on the run, but the Gleipnir used by Skitter, and he'll get another kill. And it's mega kill streak here for 33, as 4 will ultimately drop for OG.
Roshan is respawning. I don't even know if they want to go for Roche or if they want to go in and get this done with. Like, sure, it's a safer choice. There's still DD running on Pango for another 10 seconds, so let's see what he can do with it. Lina is low on mana.
Doesn't matter though, the battle. Just take this tower and get something out of it and back away. But I guess they're gonna be patient. Back away, get the Lincolns onto the Lina. Okay. Little defensive item coming through for Skitter. Getting closer to the Hex, but still just going to be about 1,400 gold away.
That was quick. That was quick math right there. I thought it's going to take you another 30 seconds to do like all the... Oh, so the courier died, minus this. The whole cost of it is... Got Skitter inside the Roche pit. We're going to scout things out with Siren Illusion, but not successfully. They're sitting underneath the ward, so Tundra has a pretty good read exactly where they are.
When in doubt, just place a ward in the middle of the lane. That seems
their
to be
wards
working.
have been on point. I don't think they got many of those de-warded.
Ooh,
even
Axe.
if they did, it provided them with the vision to actually do something. Saksa now in a good spot to break the smoke potentially.
Doom, by the way, buying full out on the Axe Blessing, already going with the Doom on himself. They'll run over onto the Naga Siren. They get the kill on the Saksa. They'll take out Snake King. That's 2 dead on the side of Tundra. And they've lost Taiga. But they're going to buy back. They'll go over and get their hands on the DM. They'll buy back on the Earthshaker as well as the Naga. And Doom will finally run out.
33. Getting that Doom, killing Naga Siren, then TPing with bots too. AoE Doom. While he's getting there, suddenly there's like, oh, there's Doom on top of me. Yuragi trying to make this happen, trying to get this Roche low, but Shard from Earthshaker dropping him down to almost 50% HP.
It really makes it difficult when you can just kind of control the Roche pit from such a distance. We've seen other heroes like that, like Elder Titan's a good example. Astral Spirit in there and make sure that you don't get it off. But now they've got the stun, they have the lockdown. Can they get the kill on Yuragi? They'll look for the song. They'll sing the song, but the BKB keeps his ears clogged. That's 33 now without the BKB, but a finger from Saksa kills the bear. So they're not going to have Yuragi, they're not going to have Taiga. They both don't have buyback. Misha will fall. BZM on the run, and he'll TP away, but no Roche for OG.
Yeah, this is going to be Shard and Aegis for Tundra. Who's going to pick up the Shard? I guess they might give it to Lion to have that magic immunity.
He could use it.
They can kill Naga Illusion. It's very effective against core Naga, not as effective against the support one. And I love that 33 just did not want to sell his Wraith Band. Instead, he bought the, the full Aghanim Scepter so he doesn't take up his slot.
Yeah, he's so rich. Bots too, Ag's Blessing.
Level 25 on Doom. Now Doom applies Break as well.
I mean, that is AoE break. That's
something, yeah.
That's scary. That is really wild, and I believe Overwhelming Blink next on the agenda. So, I just... The farm is insane. He's been at the top for a while. I feel like this is the performance we've wanted to see from Dooms when they were 1-6.
This is what you expect when you look at his items, what he builds into. Yeah, you lower the cooldown on your Hand of Midas, you farm up, you max out your Devour, but never really happened with the Dooms, at least the games that we were covering.
Yeah, we rarely get to see a Doom perform like this. Hex finally finished there for BZM, but they're down 40,000.
Oh no, his courier died!
No!
It's the second time.
No! Oh, finally, it had the ulti orb died. Full Hex.
It's okay.
Died.
Just delay for another 2.5 minutes until my courier respawns.
Yeah, please don't finish the game even though you're up 40,000 net worth. I'd appreciate having a chance to get this Hex. Oh gosh. Overwhelming Blink now finished. How do you hold if you're OG? Because it's not looking good. Yuragi, doomed, and then gets out of the AoE, but doomed again, and then walking into the Doom is going to be Taiga. He'll stand there to try and song, and eventually it will hit the Doom, but still doomed. This AoE is going to last long enough for them to get the cleanup on Taiga as well as BZM. These three heroes don't have buyback. The Satanic's finished, and the GG is called, so the game is finished, and Tundra will take the first game of this tiebreaker over OG.
What a showing from Tundra in this first game of the tiebreaker. So next on the menu will be Entity, but this game, complete domination from start to finish. 33 on this Doom, completely dominated the game. They pushed out Ursa from the lane so early on. He was level 6, Ursa was level 4. He found the creep with the Chain Lightning, gets the mana boots.